Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I'm on part 2 of the Night Hag in the 3.5 Monster Manual. There she is. There's hers. And I have to tell you guys, I did something in between that I didn't get on film. I did glue a piece of toothpick to lengthen her nose. Yes, that's true. I made a change after the filming. I try not to do that, but I was looking at it and I was like, man, that would look better to me. So I did it. And I apologize. That was my fault. I'm the worst. Alright, so we're going to start with some white paint. We're going to lighten her up and get an idea what we have to work with here. It looks like we have some detail we can definitely do some stuff with. So, I'm not an expert on night hags, but actually, compared to the regular hag, they're pretty cool. So, a night hag kind of lives in, like, the hells, and they, like, peddle souls, and they like implant their children into women and then come back for them when they're like 13 to turn them into new night. I mean, they're a cool kind of enemy. They really are. I guess my neighbor's having a rev off against himself. I hope he wins. Hope he can rev louder than himself. Poor guy. Self-competition can often be the hardest. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I want to hit her with, her abs are too chiseled. I don't want my night hag to look too sexy. I'm just going to make sure all this white paint is very dried to the model before I start painting. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some speed paints to do her up. So for her purple, I'm going to use this purple alchemy color here, which is a kind of a lighter purple. You can wipe this off pretty easy, so this is something that you can use for speed paints too. I still haven't gone to buy masking tape, and I've had this sitting here, so might as well use it. So what we want to do is we want to capture all the skin in purple. It says they're purple as if they have been bruised. That arm's pretty loose considering that it was just part of that sculpt and we didn't do anything with it. Oh well. A little late at this point to go back and try to do much with it. Alright, so let's do something with her hair next. And I think with her hair we can just use my black speed paint. And then I don't really see the need to go into too much more speed paint on her. I think we can just kind of use regular paints. I think speed paints help you in some situations. But they just don't fix everything that's going on with a model. And for her hair, I think this will definitely be a nice touch. Alright, I gotta do something about that arm being loose. Because it's just becoming a real problem. Okay. Then we'll let that just kind of dry for a minute. And then I didn't do her other leg here, so I'm going to get that leg painted up. Not sure how I missed that. Looks like I tried to do the back of it, I just didn't even bother with the front of it. Okay. Now for her clothing, I'm just going to use this dark stone color I have. Well, it was nice all day when I was at work. I come home and get in the garage and it's like 800 degrees. I just can't figure it out. Sorry, I thought I saw a stray bristle on my brush and it was irking me, but I guess I'm just a crackhead. So, night hags are pretty interesting to me as far as bad guys go. Because there's a lot of lore about them over the editions, and they're set apart from the other hags. Well, because the other hags seem to be more tied to Fae, I guess, really, and these tend to be tied towards the, I can't even English. The Infernal and Abyssal planes, the hells, the whatever you call it in your world, and that just makes it a little cooler to me. I'm going to get a lighter brown now, and this is called Monster Brown. I'm going to use this to do with the skull and the beginning of her horns. So for the horns, that should be relatively easy and straightforward. We gotta do that bone back here with it. Okay. Sorry, that makeup brush we did the dry brushing with irking. Ah, scheiße. It's irking me. All right. Before we dry her off, let's get a bigger brush. And let's do that base. So this is craft paint. This is a dark brown called Burnt Umber, and it's just from Walmart. Is where I bought this. And you can buy this giant tube of paint or tub of paint or whatever you want to call this container for a couple bucks. And it lasts for like ever. So yeah, I could use real mini paints, but dude, I don't spend that much effort on these bases to where I need that kind of, you know what I mean? I'm not a professional base painter. I'm not a professional painter. I'm just a dude in my basement, as we previously spoke. All right. We'll start hitting this with the hot air gun. So here I am with the +2 hot air gun of burning. I just segued like there was an edit there. There was no edit there. I don't edit. Get a small brush, something really small like this. Get your cardboard. There's some things that have to happen. I don't like that purple. So what I'm going to do is I have a couple colors here. This one's called Warlock Purple. There we go. All right, we're going to take that Warlock Purple. And this is a very pinky looking, like Pepto-Bismol that somebody pooped in. We're going to take that in this small brush, and this is not a very good brush. And we're just going to pick out some of the details on that and lighten her flesh up, because I just don't like the way it looks. Looks a lot darker than I wanted it to. And that might be for a couple reasons. But the first reason is going to be that when you use speed paints and you do a white layer, the whiter you make that, the more the true color of that speed paint is going to show. And if you leave too much darkness, what happens is that it kind of makes a new shade of that to cover in and show the different shadows. And that's the fast part of speed paints and the beauty of them. However, sometimes, like in this one, I know I didn't go light enough, and I'm not real happy with that. So I'm just going to lighten her flesh up to a color I like better. I'm much happier with that. I'm going to use that same crappy brush, that real small crappy brush. And now, let me put that purple away. Now I'm going to get a brown color, a dark brown, or a medium brown. This is leather brown. Let me get some of that. That's just a bubble. Okay. I'm going to start doing some work on her clothing. Just lighten that up some. And the better you hit it, the more you lighten it up in different spots, the more variation you're going to create on her. It's going to tell a story. I'm going to get that monster brown. I'm going to come around and hit it all some more in a different way. And I'm just hitting mostly the higher spots, truth be told. And I'm hitting a little bit of other areas, but the higher spots are more. Okay. I don't want her rack to look too fancy. I don't know if you can call that a rack anymore. I think that's wrong. I don't want her breasticles to look too advanced and fancy. Okay, we're going to get a lighter color, and this is called Skeleton Bone. And this is called Mummy Robes. All right, so her hair is dark black. And there's one little spot I didn't like here. Oh. Just right. In there. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. I do want to put a gray dry brush on that, though. So let's hit her with the +2 hot air gun of burning. Before we do that, though, okay. Set this up here. Hit her with the +2 hot air gun of burning. And all I did was give her some eyes. Now for that hair, what I want to do is I want to get a dark gray. I don't want to use a medium gray. And my go-to would normally be pavement for this. I'm not sure if that's going to be quite light enough for what I want to accomplish. So this is just called dark gray blue or dark blue gray. Dark blue gray. I'm going to get my larger brush that I use for like everything. I'm going to drag it across. I'm not hitting every spot of her hair. I just don't want it to look generically black. Okay. Not terrible. Where are we at on a paint job? Oh, we're close to 30 minutes. All right, guys. Hey, if you like what I'm doing here, please hit like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell icon. Leave a comment. I do like those. Go in the description and check out those links. One of those is to the website where you can buy Dungeon Swag minis from us. And we do have some discount codes available. One is for one sent to your house absolutely free, no expense to you. The other is for 25% off of our first month's Loot Crate box, which is just a box that fills out your tabletop. It's going to be a box of orcs or hobgoblins or undead or maybe a box of different heroes. That only happens a couple times a year. It's mostly monsters, though. And if people are saying, hey, we don't want heroes, then we're just not going to put out heroes. You know, it goes off of what people are saying on the Discord. So join the Discord, hang out with us if you want. We do some RP stuff on there occasionally, some paint nights. We play video games and stuff, and we're available to just BS with. Again, as much as you want to contribute or be part of this, really, up to you guys completely. I will say this. I have a desire to create a community of people that are just decent to each other to hang out with. And even though I'm a busy dude and Ascorbic is a super busy dude, this is something that we just kind of want to start up. Even if we're not the driving forces behind it and the only people on it. So just, keep that in mind. We'd like to see you there. That'd be super awesome for us. It'd bring us a lot of joy. Or at least, I don't know about Ascorbic. I don't know if he feels joy, but I feel joy. So I'm just coming back through and lightening up the pants and boots and clothes a little bit in some spots. Not a priority work here. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to hit this with a +2 hot air gun real quick. I'm going to get a little bit of clear glue. Maybe I'm going to get a little clear glue. Yeah, I'm going to get a little clear glue. Just a little dab there. I'm going to use a toothpick. And if there's any cracks or crevices or texture, you want to really shove that down in there so you get a good bond. Just kind of find some spots where you'd like a little flock to go. Okay. Sweet. And there is my Electroturn Night Hag. Let's look in the book at the Night Hag. Her purple is a much cooler purple than mine. I don't have a purple just that cool, and I'm not that good of a painter. I guess we could lighten her up with a little bit of a dry brush one more. But I'm not sure how good that would look. Yeah, I don't know if that would look all right. Let's try it. All right. Should have been done there, guys, but we weren't. Should have been. All right, so we want to get an elephant kind of light gray, I guess. Something like that. And where's my brush? What brush am I using for this? This one. We're going to get our pink, our elephant gray. Okay. We're just going to see. Okay. All right. That's worth it. And that did actually make kind of a difference. Was it life-changing, life-altering for this hag? Well, who knows? She hasn't really started her life yet, but it definitely makes a difference, and it's noticeable. It makes it look like we tried a little harder with her. Okay. So there we are. That's our hag. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Blah, blah, blah.